It's Toronto versus Chicago Wednesday night, 7 p.m. at BMO Field, live on TSN2. I'm with Dan Dunleavy right here. Dan will be part of the Gold TV crew with the post-game show after the final whistle. Now, Dan, Chicago is a team, we always talk about Kansas City and we talk about Houston, but Chicago can keep up with these guys, and they're as dangerous than anybody in the Eastern Conference. Now, they just lost Marco Papa, but they added Welch Thompson to the midfield, who joins a middle-of-the-park with the likes of Alvaro Fernandez and Patrick Nyarko, some very dangerous players.
Well, I remember last time we talked about Chicago before a Toronto FC match against this Fire club, and we recognized how Chicago's management was recognizing the position that the players and the coaching staff had put them in with regards to a playoff spot, and they were adding to the club. And it was something where we recognized that this is a team that was feeling more and more confident, but not necessarily changing the style of their play, not turning into something they're not. And there's one thing Chicago is, they're very consistent through the midfield, they're very possession-oriented, they don't give up a lot of goals, and they don't score a ton of goals either, but they certainly score enough, and they keep the score low that, often, 2 goals will win them a game, sometimes even 1 goal. They don't have a great road record, but they do have 3 wins on the road, one of them against Toronto FC, another one against Kansas City. And you mentioned they played Houston well and got some points out of the Houston Dynamo too. So you're right. Chicago is a bit of a team that, it's not a bit of it. They are a team that's not getting a lot of conversation around the league by the media, but certainly by the players and opposing coaches there.
And speaking of goals, they'll be looking to Chris Rolfe to provide some.
Yeah, he's, I don't know, is it fair to call him sneaky, or is he just tenacious? Maybe tenacious and sneaky, somewhere in between, that he's a player that you really have to be mindful of. And certainly players and defenders and midfielders know all about Chris's talents, but he still finds a way, and that's what you like about him. I think that's where the tenacious part of his game comes in, where he does find the holes, he finds the gap, and he never stops running, both on and off the ball.
So it's Toronto versus Chicago, 7 p.m. Eastern Time, live from BMO Field. You can still get tickets on Ticketmaster. Watch the match on TSN2, on Twitter. Join the conversation using the hashtag TFCLive. And the post-game show with Dan Dunleavy and company will be on Gold TV Canada after the final whistle.